Another move by the Trump administration to cut waste, fraud, and abuse from the federal government prompted another lawsuit filed by Democrats looking to stop the president. The latest came on Thursday from a group of 21 Democrat attorneys general. They're suing to halt the Trump administration from shrinking the size of the Department of Education. The Massachusetts lawsuit asks a federal court judge to immediately pause the layoffs and terminations, claiming that the dismantling of the Department of Education is unlawful. On Tuesday, the Trump administration announced that more than 1,300 Education Department employees were given termination notices after more than 570 accepted buyout offers. The moves will cut the department from 4,133 workers down to 2,183. The lawsuit claiming that the massive reduction in force will cause immense damages to plaintiff states and their educational systems. The cuts to the DOE are part of a directive given to federal agencies who had until yesterday to give the Trump administration their plans to reduce the size of their workforces.
Thursday night, host Gene Bailey and his guests talked about President Trump's plan to dismantle the Department of Education.
It's a behemoth and it doesn't get anything done. Moving it to the states seems to be the right idea. However, if it moves to the states and people don't get involved, we're still stuck with a bad education system. Your thoughts?
The issue with the DOE and many of these federal programs is that they think that the issue is more so money and they need more money for education. But the problem is not funding for education. The problem is accountability and transparency. The problem is they want to fund initiatives and programs that don't better children. You know, teaching kids about pornography in the public school system should not be the focus of education.
Here's what I love about Pastor John. He is a pastor who's engaging in the political thing, and I've seen him for years now do it at local school boards. So if what you're saying is people are afraid if we shut it down and send the money to the states, it's just going to be just as bad as the federal government, it's not true. The federal government is the worst because there's zero accountability. At the state level, what's going to happen is the really woke states are going to be exposed that they have the worst education, the worst academic rates, and the good states are going to thrive.
You can watch more on Flashpoint at govictory.com/flashpoint. Before we go, let's talk with Victory News contributor Chris Ann Hall once again. Chris Ann, here are the highlights real quick of the Department of Education workforce cut. Taxpayers save $500 million annually, 6 field offices closed, D.C. offices reduced from 3 buildings to 1. So if federal funds continue to be provided to the state education leadership, what's the problem here?
Well, the reality is the problem is the federal funding going to the states for education. Once you get federal, as long as you keep federal funding in the states for education, the federal government dictates and mandates who teaches, how they teach it, how they teach, and how you have to treat your students. And it's bankrupting the states. The states need to realize that taking this federal money is actually costing them more than if they ran their schools independently.
All right, Chris Ann, we did a little homework. We saw these pictures of you with Tennessee Sheriff's Association. What were you doing? What are you up to with them?
Yeah, so that was really great. Yesterday, I taught the Tennessee State Sheriff's Association on the Constitution, on the role of the sheriff, how not to get sued, all the things that we should be teaching in the academies so that our sheriffs can have the information they know to not violate the rights of the people and to do their jobs according to their oaths.
Yeah, knowing how not to get sued. That's the part I want to listen into.
Yeah.
All right, learn more about Chris Ann's work by visiting chrisannhall.com and follow her. Please follow her on X at RealKA Hall. Chris Ann, what a great time to be with you today. Thank you so much for the information you bring.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend.
You too as well. God bless.